meeting to call to order and welcome everybody to the regular scheduled meeting of the Angelina County Commissioners Court. I'd like to report that all the commissioners are present, and we're honored to have the opening prayer, if you would all rise, by Reverend Brian Liscombe from Providence Baptist Church in Lufkin.
Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for this day that you have given us. God, we thank you for life itself. And God, we pray that as this meeting takes place today, God, that you will be with each person here. God, I pray that this meeting will take place in a civil manner. And God, that it will provide a beneficial outcome for this county and for the citizens here. God, I thank you for this court, Lord, as the position they serve can sometimes be very difficult as they try to please the people that they serve. But Lord, sometimes pleasing people is hard. And so, God, I pray that you will help them with this. And, God, I pray that you will give them wisdom, God, that as they hear from every side, and, Lord, they hear from these matters at hand today, that, Lord, they'll have the wisdom that they need to make the proper decisions. Lord, the decisions they make will benefit this county and its citizens in the best possible way. And, God, we'll be careful to give you all the glory, the honor, and praise for it. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Brian. And please follow Commissioner Cheshire on the pledge to the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And follow Commissioner Harrison as we pledge allegiance to the Texas flag.
I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Be seated, please. We're going to take things a little bit out of order because we found out that we need to do something before we approve the minutes. So I'm going to get down to item 14. On discussing action on correcting the monthly insurance premium amount for the family option for the Angelina County Health Insurance Program.
At our last court, the insurance committee had presented to the court increasing our insurance premiums, and the committee had recommended that we increase the spousal premium by $50, the children rate by $50, and the family rate by $100. And the numbers that were given to you, the last court, had a typographical error for the family rate. Our current rate is actually $588 per month, not $528. So therefore, by increasing it by $100, we would be increasing it to $688 a month, not $628. So the insurance committee is requesting that we approve that correction.
Motion to approve.
Counselor?
If I might interject,
Certainly.
the auditor graciously pointed out the typographical error, but it was actually, I was unable to read my own handwriting. So we were going from 528 to 628, and as she said, it should have been from 588 to 628.
All right. Okay, thanks, Counselor.
Second motion to amend the motion.
Now
We
can I
have-
make that motion?
Yes, we have a motion and a second to accept the change. Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, now we're gonna go back up to item number 4. Discussion action on minutes for June 11th, 2019 Commissioners Court. Gentlemen, with the change.
Motion to approve the minutes with the change in item number 8.
right.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the amended minutes. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 5, the Angelina County Commissioners Court will now open a public hearing in reference to the proposed issuance by the Colorado Health Facility Authority on certain tax-exempt bonds. The proceeds thereof to be used to finance and refinance certain projects located in the county of Angelina. If anyone would like to speak to this, there is a sign-up sheet at the rear. Please sign it up. And at this time, it is exactly 10:04 on June 26th. We're going to open up the public hearing. Ricky, would you check to see if anybody signed? Everybody behaved. The sheriff's department just got here. All right, thank you. All right. The only person that signed up was Mr. Dwayne Miller. He's with CHI, and he was here to answer any questions in case anybody had any questions about this. If there's no questions, then I would like to go ahead and close the public hearing, item number 6. It is 10:05 on June 26th. All right. Any other discussion needed on this item?
Today's 25th.
That 25th, except for the date wrong for the judge. All right, gentlemen, what's your pleasure? Item number 7, discuss and consider approval of the proceeds of the bonds to be used to finance, refinance, pay, or reimburse the cost of projects for Angelina County affiliates.
I'd like to speak about it for just a minute.
I can
Yes, sir.
just real quickly give you a level of comfort. All of us have been in a position with our own families where your circumstances change. You have access to less costly funding, so you refinance or you may refinance. And with the recent changes with CHI and Dignity Health consolidating to Common Spirit Health, and by the way, Common Spirit comes right out of 1 Corinthians as it talks about the parts of the body of Christ working together. We can put lots of our entities together to get better rates. It's all about that refinancing. There's no impact on the county's ability to obtain bonds, on the county's rating. It just has to do with how the ability to refinance bond rates. So it doesn't impact the county or our taxes in any way, shape, or form. That's all.
You have an assistant here with you today. Would you like to introduce him?
I sure would like to. My assistant is Hudson Moore, and he's visiting on vacation right now, so we have our families with us. And in fact, Hudson's a good young loves the Lord. That's all.
Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on being.
Any questions? Oh, but
Thank you.
it's really kind of a non-event. It's just that because of the changes and because of the oversight you have in the not-for-profits in Angelina County, with permission is necessary to move that step forward before we can consolidate with them.
From the county judge, and
Did I get anything wrong
we've done
with
this
that?
before.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
gentlemen.
Make a
you bet.
motion to
Thank you,
approve.
Dwayne. We have a motion.
Judge gotta sign it, I think. Don't you have to sign it?
Authorize the judge to sign.
All right, you bet.
Second.
And a second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Dwayne. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8, discussion action on the reappointment of Randy George to the Board of Trustees at the Burke Center for another 2-year term. Mr. George's term expires August 31, 2019, and I noticed that Randy's not here. But he has been talked to about reappointment, and it's okay.
Make a motion to approve.
All right.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, item number 9, appearance of Jill Brewer, County Treasurer, to present and request approval of the May 2019 Treasurer's Report. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So we're enjoying the slightly cooler temperatures we've had the last couple of days. Just slightly.
Just slightly.
It was hot last week. Okay, I've become a regular fixture up here, haven't I? You're all the time. I like standing up here. That's why I do it. All right, we've got the treasurer's report for the month of May. You guys have any questions? There's ins and outs, there's expenditures, revenues. We have our investment summary. Total is $31,349,540.87. I wore the right glasses today, and I can read that, and I made a copy there, so I can see it. I don't have an up-to-date on the waste management trust that we have at Southside. I only get that every quarter, so that's the March ending. And then I have the checking account balance being, can I say that in public? I guess so. I guess we can tell them how much we had been. We had $650,388.76. And then underneath that, we have long-term debt schedule, and it is current and accurate, to my knowledge.
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the treasurer's report, and everybody will have to sign this.
Yep.
And any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Good report. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, you guys are going to I know you will.
All right. Item number 10, discussion action on the interlocal agreement between the Angelina County and the Angelina County Sheriff's Office and the Coalition Incorporated for the following grant to enforce subchapter H, Chapter 161, Texas Health and Safety Code, the sale of cigarettes and tobacco products, including e-cigs, under the age persons. Okay, next time you get to read this.
I realized that we were here a while back on the coalition. They contacted me, Sharon contacted me. They had some grant money. It was kind of like use it or lose it. And she asked us if we would be interested in doing some more of these sales. It's a win-win. So it's 65 more control stings. It's $75 each. It's $4,875 grant. And we use this once again to purchase equipment and things that we can't normally budget in. Once again, I guess I want to add on that, these are 50%, the e-cigs, and I may be mispronouncing the jewels, whatever it's called, I'm not real familiar. And that's becoming kind of a real little issue with our younger people. I think they don't think it's not bad for them, and but they're controlled just like tobacco as far as that age. So a lot of young people are buying these and using them. So the big deal is this controlled buys is like reinforcing these businesses, not just sell it to minors. That's with the coalition and the state. That's the big push on it right now, to try to get a handle on this e-cigarettes.
Motion to approve.
Captain, has the age changed? You know, they've been talking about
Yes,
changing
2020
age.
September, it raises to
Yeah. Yeah, I think that needs to be out there, you know, that the age has changed, and people need to be aware of that, so.
That's right, we have several of these. Now, this one's through to September 1st, so these are still within 18.
Okay.
And we have the other state grant, and then we'll start 21, we'll be doing, we'll be putting it out there to the public.
To the new age, okay. Okay, thank you, Captain. You bet. Any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, gentlemen. All right, item number 11, appearance of County Attorney Kerry Kirby, discuss and take action on management of the law library. Counselor?
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I want to speak to you just a few minutes this morning on the current status of the management law library. Going back through our records, it looks like the law library was first established back in November of 1968, set up by the Commissioners Court, as allowed by the statutes to serve and provide legal research resources for the judges and attorneys and other litigants in the county. And it looks like it was first set up actually in the county judge's office originally. And if you want to check out the book, you have to go down and check with the county judge, get his permission before you can do that. So anyway, at the same time that the court set up the law library, they put in place a set of rules, and those rules are severely outdated and need updating, but that's an issue for another day. But, part of those rules did establish a committee of the local bar association that was put in charge of management of the day-to-day activities of the law library, subject to oversight and approval by the Commissioners Court. And again, that was back in 1968. I think the law library operated in that manner for a long time. Somewhere though, about in, I guess in the mid-90s, it looks like that the office of the district attorney sort of informally took over the day-to-day administration and management of the law library. And I think that was just out of need. There was never a formal designation, but they took over shelving the books, overseeing the budget preparation, paying the invoices that came in each month, all the day-to-day administration duties. And it appears that it's operated like that for about the last 20 years. Recently, I think there's been an indication from the Office of the District Attorney that they would like to be relieved of those duties out of time constraints. They really don't have the time to give the attention it needs, and so it brings the need before the court at this point that there is a need at this point to, I think, to appoint somebody else to be a law office administrator or librarian or whatever you want to refer to them as, to be in charge of the day-to-day activities of the library, and specifically to oversee the budget preparation and the payment of the monthly bills that come in. And again, those activities would be subject to ultimately to management and approval by the Commissioners Court. There is a need for that, so I recommend the court take some action on that, if not today, in the near future. If you don't, the situation will remain the same, but as I indicated, the VA would like to be relieved of those duties and due to time constraints, and so it looks like we do need to get somebody else in that position. So I guess option-wise for the court, I think you could not take any action. You could go ahead and appoint another official today to assume those duties as law office administrator. You could, I guess, look at appointing a committee to investigate somebody that you think would be appropriate. I don't have any specific recommendations. I'm not campaigning for the position. I it's accepted if it was given to me. Other possibilities in my mind would include the county judge, maybe one of the judges at the courthouse, one of the county court at law judges, or the district judges. There's any number of possibilities. So anyway, that's kind of where I see us today, that we do need to address that need, and either the appointment of a designation of another official to assume the offices, the duties of a law library administrator, take care of the day-to-day duties of that.
Question. Am I correct in assuming that we really need to take action on this today in order to do the next two?
There is
items?
an issue, that's the next two items, it's essentially financial need. I think the court itself is ultimately in charge of management of the law library to make those decisions. And I'll address those in just a few minutes, but probably would be helpful to go ahead if that's a possibility. But I don't know if there's actually an essential need. I think the court would make those decisions without an official being in charge of administration of the library.
Okay. Gentlemen?
talk to maybe one of the judges at the courthouse and see if they want?
I've talked to Court at Law 1 and 2 and the district judges are not interested at all. Joe Lee reluctantly said that if he was forced to, he would take it, but actually, they're not interested in it. They really want us to handle it from the court standpoint, and at that point, that leaves, county attorney or the judge to make the decision. Primarily, what we're talking about is just authorizing changes in the law library, and we have made some changes, and we're getting ready to make some more changes with the software and everything, and save the county a bunch of money, I hope so.
Kerry, would you have time to do this?
That's my concern.
That's my concern.
That's my concern right there. I know how understaffed you are as
Yeah.
it is and how taxed. I see you working up here on Sundays. I mean, is this something else you're gonna have to?
I don't think that this would, I mean, again, I'd be willing to accept would take some additional time. I don't have a lot of it, but, I don't think this would be a hugely time consuming. But, from time to time, it would take a little bit of, attention, but, mainly it would be paying the monthly bills and just overseeing the budget that's submitted to the Commissioners Court each year.
This court would be happy to assist you in that matter if you do decide that it's something you want to take on.
Well, again, I'm willing to accept it. I think I
I
can.
make a motion to Kerry Kirby be the next law librarian.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second to accept the county attorney as the management authority of the law library. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, sir. All right, item number 12, appearance of county attorney Kerry Kirby to discuss and take action on canceling Thomas Reuter's subscription for Westlaw in the law library and other offices in the courthouse. Gentlemen, y'all have in front of you new sheets that were added.
And Judge, if it's possible, I think item 13 has to do with renewal of a separate subscription, and we could take up both issues.
Do them both at the same time. All right, item 13, appearance also of Kerry Kirby to discuss and take action on the Lexus subscription for the law library and other offices in the courthouse. And I might mention also that we have talked to all the judges and the attorneys that actually use the subscriptions, and there is no opposition to changing of the software, and it will be a tremendous savings.
$43,000.
Yeah, there's a big savings. And to kind of give you a little background, the law library is funded by maintained with a law library fund, which the revenue in that fund all comes from a $35 court cost that's assessed on all civil lawsuits that are filed in county courts and law and district courts. So those court costs, $35 a case, flow into this law library fund each year. And that's the money that's used to fund and maintain the law library. It doesn't actually come out of the general budget, there's a separate fund for it. And in recent years, the auditor has got together some figures. It appears that the balance in that fund is going to decline. From 2014, we had a surplus balance at the end of the year of a little over $33,000. And at the end of 2018, that balance had dropped to a little over $21,000. So about a $12,000 decrease in the balance. We still have a balance in the account, so we're still in the black, so to speak, but there has been a decline over the last 5 years, a little over $12,000 in our surplus budget. So it looks like there has been, we obviously have a decline in our balance, so I think that's because there's been an increase in the cost of the expenses as well as a decrease in our revenue. Perhaps less court cases filed each year. Those kind of fluctuate from year to year. Overall, there's a decline in numbers. So we've got essentially more money going out than we got coming in right at the minute. And so it looks like there is a need to address the financial situation with the fund. So the primary is our online legal subscription, which is currently through Westlaw. It's owned by the Thompson Reuters companies now. And you have in front of you, and that particular subscription is up for renewal this week, so a decision needs to be made pretty quickly on it today, in fact, if we can. I gave you a couple of handouts, and one of them is called Patron Access Account, and one of them is called Judicial Access Account. So in the law library, we actually have two separate subscriptions or accounts through Westlaw. One is called the Patron Account, which is actually the computer that sits in the law library. So judges or attorneys or members of the public who are involved in litigation can go in and access legal resources through the Westlaw online subscription. And that's actually in the law library. The other account, the Judicial Access Account, is set up and is allowed by statute for use by the judges, and also this county, the prosecutors use the same account. And it's a more significant expense. So if you look at those two handouts, you'll see the figures for the Westlaw renewal as opposed to an alternate company, LexisNexis. Judge Linbury, along with Gary Jordan from the IT department, have gone out and secured these quotes from this other company, LexisNexis, and they're the primary competitor with Westlaw. These two companies are primary providers of online legal resources in the country. And the services they provide are fairly similar. They're a little bit different. Different people prefer one over the other, but essentially you get the same resources and services. So if you look on we'll start with the Patron Access Account. If we renew with Westlaw, this is a 3-year subscription. Our costs are a little over $16,000. And if we changed and went with LexisNexis, the cost would be a little over $13,000. So we got about $2,700 savings over the 3-year period, which is a moderate savings, but it is a savings nonetheless. The more substantial difference is on the judicial account. If you take a look at it, you see a renewal with Westlaw over 3 years is going to cost a little over $87,000, and a change to LexisNexis over the next 3 years would cost a little over $46,000. So we've got a difference of savings in excess of $40,000 on that account. So a change from both accounts would get us in the neighborhood of $45,000 savings on our expenses over the next 3 years. The decision, as I said, can be made by the court. It needs to be, if we're going to change, it will be made today, so we can get notice to Westlaw that we're canceling and renewed with LexisNexis. There was an informal committee sort of that got together, myself and Judge Linbury, Gary Jordan, and Joe Martin of the DA's office, and Judge Rester sat in one time. I believe the consensus of the group was that we probably should change for financial reasons, and I don't think anybody's opposed to that. Again, that decision would be up to the court. So I will submit that to you for consideration this morning.
Is there any cost associated with changing?
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
And everything's gonna be compatible and just smooth transition?
In fact, if we make the change, LexisNexis has committed to the IT department that they would go ahead and provide us with free service for the next month while we're still hooked up with Westlaw, so we actually have those services for the next month. And then Westlaw would terminate at the end of July.
Right.
Can there be any issues with the IT on the software, the new software?
Not that I'm aware of.
And I think also there was a commitment for the first 6 months on the patron access at a reduced rate of, do you remember exactly what it was? Was that included in your figures?
I used average monthly figures on the LexisNexis, but they did the first 6 months, and that's a big.
Was like $90 or something?
For the patron, the first 6 months was $82.40 a month for the first 6 months.
Yeah, so that's even an additional $150 times 6. You're talking about another grand. savings there,
It
so.
was an introductory rate that they provided.
Sure.
So we're switching this.
Make a motion that we change from Westlaw to LexisNexis.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on items 12 and 13. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, gentlemen. Motion passes. Thanks, Counselor. All right. Let's see here. Item number 15, appearance of Connie Brown, Election Administrator, to discuss and take action to continue moving forward with the conversion of Angelina County voting records through our scanning process with Vista Solutions. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning. We've been scanning now for around 2 years, and we're ready to move forward to bring over all the records from team, we call it team and Secretary of State. The records that we bring over will help us to be able to find or see at point of entry whenever a voter comes in with changes on their voter record and we're entering them. We have a duplicate of that one voter, a duplicate record. We're able to see that at that point and correct it, and it's all about accountability and keeping our records clean and for the voter, the voters and for our elections.
Connie, I noticed that the amount, the cost figure is here, but would you address that also? Talk about exactly what it's gonna cost us.
Oh, okay. The total is $3,825. This pays for, of course, their service, the software, bringing the records over, which we have a little over 51,000 voter records, converting them over into our software that we use to scan with Vista Solutions already. There is a charge, an annual maintenance charge of $500. This is to update the records because it's not a consistent where every day if we put in new voters into Secretary of State, into team, it doesn't just immediately transfer over. It's not like an open line. So during the year, they go, and I'm not sure if it's quarterly or semi-annual, but they'll bring those records over to and update us. So the $500 takes care of that. And then the server move project. Our computer that we're using now is, it locks up every day on us, and for some reason at a certain time, every day, it just does it. So we've come to realize that the server that we have, or the computer that we have, is not able to handle everything that we're doing now, so therefore I'm going to need to upgrade that also. That computer and the service to upgrade and do the software on that is $750. So everything will be taken care of. If we tried to just upgrade the computer without doing this conversion, it would cost us a double or more to do that. So they did give us a break on that. And then also, customer loyalty discount of $500, just because we're already using their software.
Okay. Gary, do you need to add anything? Okay, we're still storing all the records on our server, right? Okay.
And I did get with Carrie also and have him look at everything.
Okay. All right, gentlemen.
Motion to approve, authorize Judge to sign.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, Connie. Motion passes. You bet. Just get with me later.
All right.
All right. Item 16, discussion action on public forum to be placed on the Angelina County Commissioners Court meetings along with establishing the rules of procedure, conduct, and decorum of the County Commissioners Court. Counselor, if you would, please approach. Before we go further with this, there has been some changes over the last few days and some new rulings from Texas Association of Counties on their original rules of conduct and decorum, calling into question some of the original language that they had given to us. And I'd kind of like county attorney to address that.
Judges, as I understand it, Commissioner Harrison has presented some proposed rules of procedure, conduct, and decorum meetings in the county commissioners court. And for consideration by the court, we talked about earlier this year, at this point, the court doesn't have any rules, written rules of procedure in place. The court has taken those up earlier this year in connection with the issue of an open forum as well. So, in any event, Commissioner Harrison has presented a set of rules for consideration. At this point, they appear to be based upon a model set of rules that the lawyers or attorneys for TAG, Texas Association of Counsel, put out earlier. So, in that respect, I don't see anything really wrong with them. However, there is one factor here that may cause a partial change. There's recently been a new statute enacted, as each of you are aware. This House Bill 2840 was approved by the legislature. And that particular statute provides that a commissioner's court now shall provide the public the opportunity to speak on listed agenda items at any public meeting that they have. So starting September 1st, when that law goes into effect, the court does have to allow members of the public to appear and address the court on particular agenda items that are posted for consideration by the court at that particular meeting. It's not exactly, it doesn't provide for an open forum, but it does provide for the public speaking on specific items listed. So, and these rules that are proposed by Commissioner Harrison do address that. The new statute does have some provisions in there about the court being unable to limit criticism of the court in a proper manner. Also appears to have some limitations on, or prohibit the court from limiting the number of people that can speak. These changes are, I don't think they're really addressed by the model rules that are being proposed. In fact, Judge Lindbergh sent me an email from the attorney from Texas Association of Counsel yesterday that appears to indicate they're recommending a couple of changes in the rules to address those issues. So I just present that to you, that there may need to be a couple of changes based on their recommendations and the new statute, the rules that are being proposed. As far as what's being proposed, there's nothing per se incorrect or illegal about them, but it might be advisable to look at those recommended changes before adoption, so we have everything in proper order before they're adopted. And whether we adopt the rules or not, it doesn't, as indicated by statute, starting September 1st, the court will be required to provide the opportunity to the public to speak on listed agenda items. That's where we are today.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and say, let me just say something on this. You know, last meeting I wasn't here, I was at school, and when I was at school, they come up with this House Bill 2840, and I learned about it while I was at school there. The biggest thing I'm trying to do is get this started. There's some different verbiage that I understand now, you know, that I didn't put in this. But I'd like to go ahead and table this till we have a chance to look at the verbiage that Mr. Allison sent out, and then maybe we can, you know, put it into this one that we have here, and then try to pass it on through the next meeting or something.
The language is almost exactly the same. They've just some very minor changes in
Right.
some of the wording.
Right.
And it is almost exactly what you're proposing,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is minor changes.
but I would appreciate this table this time until our next meeting, to where we can get a chance to go ahead and put this this verbiage in this thing and to be right. I don't wanna just throw something out there. I want it to be right if I'm putting my name on it, so.
Greg, I would
Yo.
suggest that we would maybe hold a special session on this particular matter where we can all discuss it in public.
See what's going on, yeah,
And,
yeah.
have it outlined and then have the county attorney, they're present with us and, where we're doing it in public and have it all drawn up and then we outline it, then we, bring it back to court at regular session.
Yeah, well, whatever the court desires, I just, like to say, I mean, what I done is I just pulled one from another another county. And I liked the way it looked, and that's the reason I said, okay, let's try this one. Of course, since then, there's been some different verbiage come in from Mr. Allison, which is our TAC attorney. So I said, well, let's just table it at this time, and then of course, if we need another meeting or whatever y'all want to do on that, but I do move to table it at this time. So that's my.
We have a motion on the floor to table it at this time and reconsider it later.
Second.
Okay, and we do have a second. Any further discussion? And then I'll get here.
Let's just, we go ahead and table it now, we'll get together and set a special session.
We can do
Would
that.
be good, and that way we discuss this item only,
Sure,
and then we can bring it back to court for approval.
sure. We'll
Sounds
do
great.
that. All right. Any further discussion, guys? Okay, all in favor of tabling this motion? Item? Yeah. All right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Cool, it is tabled. All right. Number 17, discussion action to enter into contract with Auctioneer Express, an online auction to sell surplus equipment.
Judge, I actually, I think it was back in February, had requested permission from the court to sell some surplus equipment that I had. And since then, I've looked and tried to come up with a better way. We used Copart in the past and was real pleased with them, but there's concerns about maybe the public's not able to bid on equipment out there. So I looked at this Auctioneer Express, and they have two options: a one-time contract and an ongoing contract. And me and the county attorneys kind of struggled with it, but we're going to recommend, or he does recommend, just doing the one-time contract with them. So that's what I'm asking the court to approve today: a one-time contract to sell some surplus equipment.
See how it works out.
And we've actually used them in the past. In 16, I think Commissioner Loggins used them and was real pleased with them, so.
Okay,
Motion to approve, authorize just sign.
all right.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. Item number 18, discussion action on budget transfer, Road and Bridge 1, transfer from hard type roads, $3,000, transfer to training personnel, $3,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 19, emergency action on budget transfer from emergency management. Transfer from R&M office equipment, $700, to office supplies, $700.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 20, discussion action on budget transfer from Road and Bridge number 2. Transfer from fund balance, $183,000, 557.15 and transfer to capital outlay the same amount.
You gonna make a motion to approve that to transfer precinct 4?
Commissioner?
We're looking to get some new equipment, and we're not wanting to finance it, so we're just gonna buy it right out for the county.
You buying this through the buy board?
Yes.
Then you don't need our approval.
Well, it's coming
Motion
up.
to approve
It's
anyway.
coming up next, okay? And this has been thoroughly discussed with the auditor, so everything's cool, right?
Yes.
All right. All right, gentlemen,
Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
how about one of those being a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2021, discussion action on a request from Road and Bridge 2 for permission to purchase a new John Deere tractor with 22-foot boom mower and ditcher from Tiger Corporation, George Bain Incorporated, through the buy board to be financed through the lease purchase program at First National Bank, Wichita Falls.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 22, discussion action on request from Road and Bridge 2 for permission to purchase a new patch truck through the buy board. Gentlemen,
Motion to approve.
Second.
have a motion and a second. Any more discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Item number 23, discussion action on hiring a broker to sell 3 tracts of county property. When I came into office, we have 3 tracts of county property. They're small tracts. One of them is a little over 3 acres. One of them is about 1.5 acres. Another one's a little over 2 acres. That has not had any use for the county for a number of years. And we have, county attorney and myself have been talking to a broker about selling these pieces of property. One of them is the old Precinct 3 county barn. One of the rules with the broker is, if we use a broker, that the property has to be at least listed for 30 days before it can be sold. And, but that is, what we're asking for is permission to go ahead and list these 3 pieces of property with the broker.
What 3 properties are we talking about?
Okay.
Because I'm not familiar with them, and I don't
All
have
right.
anything in my packet.
First piece to discuss is the Precinct 3 old barn by the paper mill.
Okay.
Okay, and Commissioner Pitts can address that, he can tell you about it.
And those funds will be going into Precinct 3's fund balance, right?
Good try. Good try. Good try, outstanding try. No, actually, it will be going to the county general fund, but
It's just like the judge said, it's 2 acres of land. The Precinct 3 years past had 2 barns, and they consolidated all to 1 barn in Huntington. And we use it for a little storage occasionally, but it's actually, the roof's falling in, and it's just a barn shop on it is all that's on it, and it's pretty bad shape, so. I do agree that it needs to be put back on the tax roll.
thank you. The other 2 pieces of property are in Commissioner Harrison's area. One of them is a little over 2 acres out on Oakwind Road.
That's what y'all said, because I've
Okay,
never
oh,
seen
you
it.
hadn't seen it. I have been out and looked at it. It's actually at the entrance to a little subdivision, and a road, the county road goes right through the middle of it. It's not worth a lot of money, but the broker has already gone out and looked at those pieces of property and has recommended, let's see here.
Is that in that addition out on 69?
That's a different
No.
piece of property.
Different.
That's a different piece of property. Westwood addition out on 69, just a little, not too far out the highway, has a little over 3 acres in it, and it is actually in a subdivision, and that would probably sell pretty quick to a broker, because there's room for 3 1-acre lots, basically.
That's
And
one we've been mowing for the last few
Yeah,
years.
that's what I
yeah,
thought. That's what I
the
thought.
county's been mowing it, taking care of it, and it just needs to go back on the tax rolls. We need to get these pieces of property back back to where they're benefiting somebody.
We got a broker looking at it? I mean,
Yes, we've got a broker, matter of fact, Nathan Gann Medford,
Yeah.
has already looked out. He's appraised each one of the three pieces of property. And, see, Counselor, I know you gave me that figure. Let's see here. He's got recommended prices on each one. I thought I had it right in front of me. Do you remember what those figures are? Oh, okay. Property number one, is the one that's out off of Oak Glen Road. He's only recommending 5,000 on it, cause it's the one that's a county road, goes right through the middle of it, and it's, also a huge ditch on one side and a pretty much partial ditch on the other side. It's not worth much. The property number two, Old County Barn, is $10,000 recommended on it. Those can be negotiated. And then property number three, the 3 acres at $15,000 recommended. Those figures are going to be the maximum amount that, that's gonna be attainable. But right now, even if we got less than that, we get it back on the tax rolls and it will actually be, used, and, Commissioner Harrison doesn't have to mow them anymore, so, all right.
I'm in favor of that. Make a
All
motion
right.
to approve.
All
Second.
right, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
That,
I
Oh,
will,
I'm sorry.
I will say that if I recall right, when precinct 4 moved, and when I'm talking about this, I'm going on what I've been told, I have no official record, but they moved from, within the city of Zavala out to the old Forest Service building.
That was the old location.
That the purchase was made by, funds within the precinct 4 budget. And I feel like that if we sell that property that is in precinct 3 budget, in precinct 3, it needs to go back into his funds. That's just my personal opinion. Now, I don't know if Counselor may have a different opinion on, or the auditor may have a different opinion, on where that
That's
money
an issue, Commissioner, I'd have to get back with you on. I think that it could be a factor that the funds came from the precinct.
If it come from precinct 4 or 3, it needs to go back in precinct 3.
Really?
Okay.
And,
Can we leave that motion open to,
well, we can go ahead and approve the
Approve it.
broker and then to sell the property, and we can
Yes.
address that issue later on. I'm hearing from the auditor right now that these are, now is that even the piece of property that's not part of the old
No.
barn?
No, if it's the barn and it was purchased with the precinct money, then that would go back into the precinct. But if the rest of it would go into the general fund.
right?
Okay, so the two in precinct 1 would go into the general fund, and then from the sale of the barn would go back into that.
If the precinct 3 paid
If
for it.
precinct 3
Right.
paid for it,
Right.
yes.
If the general fund paid for it, then it will go back into the general fund.
Yes, ma'am.
We can address that later on.
what about advertising? I mean, I guess that'll be
The broker's gonna take care of all of that.
everything.
You bet.
But I've got some people that's actually interested in that.
Sure.
So I guess I need to know at what point I can let them know, or,
Once y'all approve this, we've got a contract to sign with the broker. And after that, I'm sure they'll get signs up, and you can tell them they need.
which broker to go
You
to.
bet.
And it was Gann, you said?
Yes. The reason we're using a broker is because they will do all the advertising and the legwork, and according to the statute that that the county attorney found out, we do not have near as much liability as far as posting notices in the paper and this sort of thing. It's a much smoother operation to be able to let a broker handle it.
How much is gonna be the broker fee?
minimum, each one of these, you're talking about 6%, but none of these are going to get to the minimum fee. The minimum fee is gonna be $1,000 on each piece of property, and the maximum, I think, come up to 6 or 7, so we're gonna be spending $1,000 on each sale, which, after everything is split up, doesn't pay a salesman much going out and showing a piece of property, so that's pretty much the minimum.
I'm in favor of most of it.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, item number 24, consider any miscellaneous routine items. We have several items in there from the JPs.
Judge, got 2 reports from Judge Bidwell.
Correct.
And then 1 report from Precinct 3, Judge Grubbs.
Correct.
And collections report from Michael Smith. Motion to approve all reports.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the routine items. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 25, consider approval and authorization for payment of the bills as submitted by the county auditor.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second to pay the bills. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, gentlemen, item number 26, recess or adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. First, motion and second. All in favor? Good deal. Thank y'all very much for coming. Yes, sir.